Welcome, everyone. Welcome to day 5 of our 7 days of rest. I love seeing so many familiar faces that have been journeying with us over these 7 days. Thank you for showing up. And if this is your first day, you can put that in the chat so that we can make you feel welcome. So we've been really building a beautiful heart field each day that we've been coming together. And we're here inside the connection field. And the connection field, as we've been learning, is an online social space where you can scroll and you can post and you can follow and you can connect things that you might be enjoying on other social networks, but for a more focused purpose, cultivating coherence and opening our hearts and living on purpose. It's also a kind of virtual space with us all around the world connected together. We're each these points of light in a field that's remembering itself and finding itself and gravitating people together that have some aligned roles as we're creating this new body. And so I love images like this that really kind of depict that we're a point of light in a field of love, and that the quality of our presence is the one thing that we can contribute into that field that has the greatest impact. And I know this is one of the reasons why I'm putting my energy into the connection field, because I really do believe that when we put our attention and connect with people that challenge us and inspire us, and we spend our time with them, that we don't get distracted in places where that isn't happening, that our life changes, that it's enhanced. And that's why I'm here in the connection field, because I feel like that's what we have here. And every month we have a theme that we're going to do, not just start here in 7 days, but that we're going to carry this current along. And the theme for January is choosing love. And that sets the foundation for a heart-centered life. And with a heart-centered life, we begin to live on purpose. And we might find that that purpose is radically different than what we think it is once we really relax inside. And our theme for the whole year, cultivating coherence, personally and collectively, because that's going to support our mission to become an island of coherence in the sea of chaos, and to help love go viral so that it sweeps across this planet and begins to help a more graceful birth of something new. So we started 5 days ago with the 7 days of rest, taking these first steps. And the different hosts that were given the days, they assigned themselves, meaning I reached out and said, what day are you available? And everybody kind of put where they are. And I was reflecting on today the magic of the flow that came when each of them chose what they wanted to share with the community that they thought would be of value in choosing love and cultivating a heart-centered life. And so I'm going to review those today. So the first day was with Michelle and Tatiana, and it was the breath of love. And she really shared with us that we have access to this energy that we call love, and that we can use it to clear our energy systems. We can just take 5 minutes a day. We can just do that and breathe the breath of love to nourish our own bodies, our own presence, our own capacities. And then the next day we had Grace and Tammy Briggs, and they gave us the 5 breaths of love. So we could use that same breath of love, and instead of just nourishing ourselves, we could begin to breathe that love out into our environment, our homes, our communities, our families, that we could use that breath of love to send energy out into the field. And then Kadi J on day 3, again with Tatiana. She's really been carrying us forward. We're so grateful for her. Acceptance, whatever is right now is, that's what's happening. So how do we accept what is and then choose how we want to respond in a way that's aligned with our values and our intentions and our vision for our lives and our relationships and our world? Beautiful day. And then yesterday we had Scarlett and Dr. Lori Ann and Tatiana again guiding us into presence. And I love that she used her relationship with the AI, showing her how our own presence coming into relationship with either people or whatever's emerging in the field of our unity with unconditional love, with extending a sense of real value, all of the things that we look for ourselves, extending that into relationship. And so presence. And each of those really sets this ladder of dropping deeper inside of ourselves, guided by our breath, and really coming into presence inside of ourselves so that we can choose love for real. So today we were going to have two friends of mine that were going to take us into self-inquiry. And at the last minute, they had a snowstorm and their internet's going in and out. And so I invited Tatiana to come back again. Thank you and bless you for saying yes and really supporting us in these 7 days. And Julie was supposed to be tomorrow and she's today. And so with a relaxed presence, I have to say, we navigated that whole thing. And here we are showing up to what's true in this moment without resistance. I'm really grateful we had those days to do that. So welcome everybody again. It's really wonderful to see you and to be in your presence. And we're going to start our journey today again with Tatiana taking us into a field of music so that we can center ourselves. Julie's going to guide us in, I think, into a new story about who we are and what our potential is. And so we'll have a little storytelling time today. And at the end of the session, of course, we'll open up time for us to share with each other. And I'm going to take you inside of the connection field, but I'm going to use my profile and I'm going to show you some things you don't see yet. All right. Sound good? All right. Tatiana, thank you again. Sweetheart.
Oh, it's delightful. I love when I receive your text like, "Do you want to come back?" I'm like, "Yeah." Of course. Hang out with these beautiful beings. My pleasure. And yeah, it's been such a special 7 days and I've been so enriched by being here and deepening with this field and it's been just so beautiful. And I thought before I started to play today, I could just invite us into something, if that's
Nice.
okay.
Yes.
So I'm learning a lot about somatics right now, somatic therapy, and training as a somatic practitioner. And a term that I just learned recently, which I just love so much, is this word glimmers. And it's a small, subtle, positive experience that is just happens in our day-to-day life that maybe we don't really pause for to really savor or notice, but when we do can really bring in more of a sense of safety, connection, well-being. And it's just simple things like, wow, my tea is so warm and nourishing, or this blanket is so cozy and I love it, or I can hear the birds, and just these little moments in our day-to-day lives that are so sweet and nourishing, and we can pause and slow down and really notice them. And when we do, they just add to our resource of safety and connection. So I thought we could just maybe notice right now if there's any glimmers in our immediate environment. Whether it's just the cozy chair you're sitting in, or if just being in this space is a glimmer, if there's a plant in your house, just something that gives you a sense of when you really slow down for it, like, oh, that feels so good to me. So just inviting us all to attune to what that might be. And I'm going to play you another lullaby. Hopefully you're not tired of my lullabies yet. And yeah, just inviting you to just keep noticing what can I attune to right here that is nourishing me in this moment. For me, I can see my cat, actually, and my cat is just like a whole resource of glimmers. So just noticing. Hush now, come and rest, I'll sing you a lullaby. Hush now, you've done your best, let the world go by. You can let go of all you carry. I know how much you worry. For this moment, just fall into the love that's holding you. Hush now, come and rest, there's no need to be afraid. Hush now, you've done your best, you are safe. You can let yourself rest a while. Slow down for your inner child. For this moment, just fall into the love that's holding you. Only love surrounds you now. 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 Baba Namo Kevalam. Baba Namo Kevalam. Baba Namo Kevalam. Baba Namo Kevalam. So just again bringing your attention, savoring what feels nourishing in your environment right now. Really noticing it. Is there a cozy blanket? Is it your tea? Is it the view from outside your window? Slowing down to really notice what in this moment is bringing you a sense of comfort, safety, and well-being. And then just falling into the love that's here. And you can almost hear like the universe is whispering to you in your ear. Only love surrounds you. Only love surrounds you. Whispering in your ear. Only love surrounds you. Rest, rest. You are safe.
Hmm. Let's take this comfort and this sizzle. I have so many sizzles all around me. And let's just for one moment, let's pulse that into the field and share it with anyone that just needs this sense of comfort right now. Maybe somebody you know. It might just be out into the field in general. Somebody that just needs to feel a warm hug, a warm blanket. Thank you. Thank you, Tatiana. Thank you for every day. I'm going to put her link to her website again, and she's also going to be in the connection field with us, and we're going to get to spend a lot of time with her. And Paul, I just was watching you with your headphones on and was imagining what it would be like to have Tatiana singing in my ears with headphones. I just want to say, I'm going to try that. All right, I'm going to bring Julie. I'm going to spotlight you, Julie. I'm going to come on with you for a minute, and I'm going to add my spotlight. There we go. Thank you for just always showing up and jumping in. And, you know, Julie's one of the main early partners in the connection field. Julie and I both had communities that we were trying to support. I had the Islands of Coherence, another social network, just like this. And she had her community during COVID had done something similar. And we said, you know, we should do it together because otherwise it's just way too much work to do and support a community and help it happen on our own. And so we reached out to others like Unify, like Scarlett yesterday, who was also doing something similar and gathering community, and Heart Math with Claire. And so we started to gather our colleagues together that we felt were embodying this unified worldview, that we're acting in coherence when we related with them, and we joined in this amazing experiment, and it's been transforming our lives, and we've been having so much fun, and we've been learning a lot about what it means to be an island of coherence right here inside, and how to collaborate with others who are doing the same. So Julie, I just want to acknowledge that Julie's with Good of the Whole. She's also going to be inviting us into a deeper journey inside the connection field with the Imaginal Souls chrysalis. And she's one of the guiding forces in the connection field here. So Julie, welcome to you. And thank you for bringing all of the different people who are sharing about this worldview into things like your podcasts and into things like your courses and your writing and your articles. You've really been kind of this connecting force for this new story. And I know today you're going to take us on a little story. So I love you. Thank you. Oops, you're muted.
That was strange. I was unmuted. Now I'm muted. Then I'm unmuted. Okay. Thank you, Teresa. That was really sweet. Yeah, like here we be. And we're in an incredible time on the planet. And everything that we thought we knew, we can literally let go of now. Like it's time. 2025 is our year to literally let go and to reimagine everything. So we're going to talk about that a little bit as I give you a few pieces that I think are essential for all of us moving into this year because it's a big year. If you're following astrology, there's a lot of things happening astrologically that tell us this is the time of some really big endings and some really big beginnings. 2025 is a 9-year in numerology, which means a lot of endings. So we're in this liminal time on the planet. And if you watch the news, if you watch Main Street media, you're seeing a lot of chaos, a lot of fear, a lot of everything's being stirred up, and we can get so pulled into those energies. And it's really important for us now to create a very stable state of being in coherence and unity of consciousness. Because the story that we've been in has been an illusion of separation. We've been in this narrative that's taught us that we're separate from a creative source. We're separate from each other. We're separate from the planet. We're even separate from the cells of our being, like our bodies. We're separate from our heart. And none of that is true. And science is now showing us what these ancient wisdom traditions and spiritual traditions have been telling us for centuries. And so it's really time for us to embody this unitive consciousness in a new way. And I'm going to preface it by saying something I said in a meeting a couple of days ago. Tatiana was in this meeting and I said it and somebody went, whoa, like seriously? Is that many of us have been preparing for decades for this time on the planet. Many of us have been born in this knowing and in this consciousness. And we're like, oh, yeah, this is coming. Oh, yeah, this is going to happen in my lifetime. Oh, yeah, we're going to create. There will be peace on earth. Somebody put in the connection field, I'm going to live for peace on earth on the planet in my lifetime. I swear it's going to happen. And I'm like, me too. I'm going to be there. We know this time. We're encoded for this time. But here's what's different. Maybe 20 years ago, you got this download, you had this epiphany. Maybe you've had a lifetime of awakening experiences, unitive experiences, guidance, prolific dreams. Maybe you've had a vision of what's yours to do and how you're going to do it and how we're going to wake up the planet. But literally, those have been the guiding pieces that have woven us through separation consciousness to get to this moment. And now we get to let go of all those visions of how we think we're going to co-create this and go into the sacred emergence, allowing this evolutionary impulse to guide us and co-create the unitive age. So there's a difference there. If you're really listening, we thought we knew how we're going to do this. We think we got to go wake everybody up. We think we're going to recreate all the systems and structures, and we've had our important and valuable and beautiful visions and everything. And now we're not in the age of separation anymore. And those instructions have come through separation consciousness to get humanity to this point. So let go of everything. There's still wisdom in that guidance. There's still jewels. There's precious pieces that will be carried forward. But we have to come into this from the place of our heart, from the place of this intuition, this guidance, with the evolutionary impulse and create something brand new that perhaps we can only barely imagine at this point. And trust that. Trust that. Because the embodiment is that we are an expanding consciousness of love in motion. We're co-creating a harmonic emergence. Back in the 60s and the 70s, they did the harmonic convergence. And then we had a repeat of the harmonic convergence about a decade ago. And now we're in harmonic emergence. And coherence in our state of being is the most essential thing moving forward, especially during the times where those around us are feeling fear and chaos and separation. Our stability in creating a state of coherence is essential. It's primary. Our beloved friend, Elizabeth Sahtouris, who passed away the beginning of December, was an evolution biologist. And she talked about the butterfly as a metaphor for humanity. And that's where we're going with the Imaginal Souls chrysalis here in the connection field. So I want to share this butterfly story because the wisdom is essential, and it's talking about the same things that I'm trying to introduce here. Is that when a caterpillar goes into the chrysalis stage, it begins to weave the silk around it. The skin of the caterpillar becomes the hardened chrysalis. And then literally the structure of the caterpillar dissolves. It goes into dissolution. It becomes this, what Elizabeth calls it, green goo. It becomes a nutritive soup. And when that happens, there's no longer a caterpillar there. And in the skin of the caterpillar lay dormant cells called the imaginal cells. And these are literally what Elizabeth taught was a completely different genome for a completely different species. And we'll share her video, and I'll share that after I'm done speaking, a link to her short video, and it's inside the Imaginal Souls chrysalis as well. But she talks about the creepy crawlies coming into contact sometime along evolutionary times, where the creepy crawlies came in with the flying, and all of a sudden this thing happened, and this creepy crawlies carrying a brand new genome of a different species that's not the same. And so those imaginal souls of the butterfly live dormant inside the skin of the caterpillar. And during that chrysalis time of complete dissolution, the imaginal cells begin to come out to find each other. And at first, that nutritive soup, which was an immune system of the caterpillar, does try to attack that. But more and more of those imaginal cells come out and replicate and come together and create this beautiful new species with a completely different genome called the butterfly. And the butterfly forms inside of that nutritive soup, uses the caterpillar's body and that dissolution of nutritive soup to feed this new species as it's becoming in that chrysalis. And so it's a beautiful story. Many of us know that, but most people will think in separation consciousness, a caterpillar goes in and creates a chrysalis and then just grows wings and comes out and flies. And that's not what happens. So I love to tell that story about the green goo and the nutritive soup and that dissolution, because that's what we're experiencing now on the planet. Elizabeth taught that we are moving from a species of late adolescence, competitive, self-centered, overconsumptive species. If you look around going, oh yeah, that's who we've been, right? A lot of ego, a lot of more, a lot of, I want more, I'm going to have more, I'm going to, like that consumptive, that overconsumption. And that's what a caterpillar does. It overconsumes. It eats more than it can as a physical species, tears through its environment, ruins it, and then goes up into the chrysalis stage. So as humanity, we're leaving this late adolescent stage, And every species that's ever evolved beyond that stage on the planet has created a species that, and I love this, we become cooperative communities that care for all life and future generations. Seeing some heads shaking with me. We move from that late adolescence into this new early adulthood where we innately know to care and to really be in that cooperative community that cares for all life and future generations. And that's what we're doing. So it is important that we consciously move into this dissolution, that we literally let go of what we imagine and be available in that unknowing liminal stage to listen to that still small voice that's guiding this, to stay out of the noise, stay off of certain things that create a lot of static in the field, and go to that. I love that glimmers. Was it glimmers? What'd you say? Glimmers. Let's go to our glimmers. Thanks, Tatiana. It's like noticing the glimmers brings us into that place, that state of being of coherence. And then everything is hooked up. We're going to be moving less out of the mind and into the heart more and into a multidimensional state of being as a species. But the pathways through the heart right now. And the more we can stay in this stabilized state of unitive consciousness with coherence, the more it ripples out. We know this to our communities, to our families, to our homes, to our neighborhoods, and to the planet at large. So we want to stabilize this new way of being as we're developing these new, brand new evolutionary capacities. So we're not only just evolving into that next adjacent step, like a lot of people talk about, oh yeah, what's that adjacent step that's next? What's that next thing? We're doing that as we're learning, and we've been doing that for decades, going, oh, this evolution's coming, and now we're ready to leap. So we have to go into that stillness and embrace that in a way that moves us into who we're becoming. So with that, why don't we, is Tatiana still here? Let's just do a little meditation to bring us all into this space together. And if Tatiana's there, she can play quietly in the background. Is she still with us? No? No?
No.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. We'll do it with silence like Cuddy J did in the background. Let's do this together, guys. If you can get in a comfortable space where you can close your eyes, put your feet on the ground, and just with me, take a few conscious breaths to begin. Just come into this holy moment of now. And feel the air as it flows through you. A gentle reminder that you are alive, here and now. With each breath, feel yourself softening and relax into the stillness of this moment. Allow the edges of your mind to dissolve, releasing the illusion of separation. You're not apart from this world. You are a breath of life itself, a radiant pulse of love, an ever-expanding consciousness of love in motion. You are an imaginal soul awakening to your infinite nature. Feel the quiet hum within you, the hum of creation. Listen for it. That ancient message of becoming, the impulse of evolution, whispering that you're here not by chance, but by the grand design of the cosmos. In the stillness, feel the boundless potential of your being. You are a bridge between worlds, a spark of the one creative source, carrying the codes of infinite creation. With each breath, you ripple coherence into the fabric of existence. With each heartbeat, you summons a future into being, the unitive age. You are a co-creator, tuning the unseen frequencies of love into a living symphony. Feel the magnitude of who you are. A creator standing at the threshold of the unknown. A portal through which this harmonic emergence unfolds. In the stillness, you find the most potent creative genius. In your heart, you discover a wellness, a wellspring of wisdom, wholeness. And in your unknowing, you glimpse the greatest truths. Now feel yourself expanding outward, beyond the confines of your body, beyond time and form. You're a living paradox, stillness in motion, form arising from the void. Dare to stand at the edge of the known and feel the raw, untamed chaos of becoming that's dancing within you. You're ready to be woven into something entirely new. You are the dawn of a new paradigm, not waiting for change, but being the change, the luminous beacon igniting coherence wherever you go. Breathe deeply. And as you exhale, feel yourself radiating a quiet revolution. A silent song of harmonic emergence that calls others to awaken, to rise, and remember who they are. You are the song of tomorrow, rising in the octave of unity. Love in motion, a living expression of evolution itself. This is your charge to admit your light boldly, to love fiercely, to kindle the future into being. Feel the joy of this moment, the joy of being alive at this time, the joy of knowing that you're not alone. We're all here together. You're part of a living, breathing field of imaginal souls, each one a spark of that love consciousness, each one rising to co-create a world beyond fear, a world grounded in coherence, unity, and joy. So in this space of stillness, feel the path before you. It's not a path of striving, but a path of allowing your fullest expression to emerge as a living proclamation of love. Take one more conscious breath with me as we carry this knowing into our being, as we carry this coherence and pulse it into the world. For you are the imaginal soul. We are imaginal souls, and our time is now. This is our time. With one more conscious breath, gently wiggle around this nutritive soup in this chrysalis right here. And when you're ready, let's look around this beautiful online community of imaginal souls that we have here. Teresa, maybe we could put it on gallery view and just gently come back in to this recognition that we're finding each other and we're here together and we're being into a new evolutionary existence together. How does that feel? A remembering and an awakening and a recognition. Thanks, Teresa.
I know for me, there were a few stories in the very beginning of my journey with coherence that set the trajectory of my life. And one of them was the quote around small islands of coherence. The moment I heard that, I had this cellular knowing that a time was going to come when our coherence was exactly what was needed. And so it's driven my path. Like, what is coherence? I had to figure that out. And what does it mean to be in coherence together? But the other thing was the story of the imaginal souls, the imaginal selves. And when I heard about that story, I realized that I wasn't the soup that I was swimming in, that there was something that I was feeling, and there was a knowing that I had that was different than this reality that I saw out on the news or just everywhere around me. I felt like I was like, wow, like I'm really from another planet. And so, but when I heard that story, then I thought, well, maybe that's because I'm not the soup. Maybe I'm an imaginal cell that's in the body of what's coming. Because I believed the Islands of Coherence story. I believe that we were evolving. I had all of those as part of my worldview. And that awareness has guided my practice of coherence from the very beginning. So I had to say, if I'm not that, what's going on out there, and I don't seem to be able to affect it with my energy, then maybe if I turn my attention into the frequency of what I am, what's emerging in me, maybe that will guide me in what my actions and what's coming will be. And that's what you were talking about, Julie. And that changed everything for me, because I know that I'm an imaginal cell in the body of what's emerging. I can feel it inside. And if I stop trying to fix what's outside and I start attuning to the unique vibration of the imaginal soul that I am, then I can respond to a life that's unfolding from a very different place. And I really appreciate that you invited us to start to think about that. And the other thing that I noticed is when I then started to slow down, self-reference a deeper place inside of myself, trust what was emerging that was asking me to move forward instead of pressuring me from the outside to do something. When I started to do all of those things, I started to notice that different people began to be attracted into my life, that different opportunities and circumstances were naturally emerging in my life. And my life started to look and feel more like an imaginal cell life than the soup that I was observing on the outside. And as I kept cultivating that, the more that I'm not being swayed or pulled or distracted by the soup, because it no longer has my attention. My attention is now into what's emerging. And we don't know where we're going. It's a quantum leap, like from the early cell seeds of life to multicellular organisms. Like it's a leap that we can't define, but we can feel. And that's the invitation that I know that you're inviting in the Imaginal Souls Chrysalis. Some of the inquiry that's required, some of the science that can help our minds let go of the old story and start to trust that part of it, and a request or an invitation to do that inside work so that you can be a coherent presence on the planet. And I'll say that practice certainly made it easier for me to not get all flustered when people's power went out and they didn't have internet and we needed to shift things. Like here's a living example that it really helps us to navigate what's coming. So, and that was a beautiful meditation, Julie.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, it's important with like even just hearing you, Teresa's like we've created all the mythologies from separation consciousness of this time and what's coming. And so even like, oh, we're in a collective hero's journey. Well, that's a part of the old story in separation consciousness, even though it's a great metaphor for the process we're in. When we talk about ascension and awakening and all of these spiritual things, those were mythologies from separation consciousness trying to understand unitive consciousness. So this is a really exciting time. So another thing we get to do inside of the chrysalis is to compare notes, is to share our experience, is to literally catalog what we're doing, what we're sensing, what we're feeling, what we're seeing, what we're hearing, what, you know, and to just really co-create this unitive age from the inside out in our being. So I'm excited about that part. And just, I know many people inside the connection field have said, we want to go deeper. We want to share. We want to talk. We want to like do that. And so it's a fun opportunity for us to do that together in real time.
I just saw a note from Marco. I love this. It feels hard to let go of the soup if your family seems to be part of it. You know, that's the case for me all the time. Like there's always going to be people who are still kind of not aware yet that they're an imaginal cell and they're not the soup. And so this is what I did, Marco, and maybe others can share too. Like, look, I see Maxie's raising his hand, or that's Daniela, somebody. Hi, Maxie. I'll open your line in a minute. I just kept tuning into the frequency of the imaginal soul or cell that I am. And I found that my doing that began to create changes in my relationships, in my life, and uplifted people around me. And my family, they don't 100% live in the same place that I do, but they love that I do, and they want that around because it helps them to keep choosing something more, inspires them to do that. So that's the part we can change, and knowing that as we do that, the environment around us begins to shift its frequency, and it will benefit everything. So that's what I would say. We have a little time. I am going to open up for us to share, and then I will take you into the connection field just for another little peek in there before we go. And I do want to say hi to my friends Daniela and Maxie. Hi, guys.
Hi. Happy New Year. So lovely to see you. All of
Happy New
you.
Year. Happy New Year.
And Maxi said just before, it's so lovely to be with Teresa again. And yeah, beautiful meditation.
Yeah, after all these years, you're still going after your dream.
Yes, you too. I know, Maxie. Yes.
So beautiful.
There's different community members like Danielle and Maxie that maybe we met in the Islands of Coherence, or like George. Yeah. We were back in the Gateway to Conscious Evolution learning community, or some of you might have been in the Resonance Academy. They're all these communities that have been kind of coming together to learn what it means to be awake in this new reality, in this new worldview. And we needed these different configurations to help us get to where we are right now.
Yeah, and we put the dots together.
Yes, all the little dots get pulled together. And if we don't pay attention so much to the soup, and we start paying attention to the frequency that's in our hearts, we'll start to find ourselves in spaces like this, where we're being uplifted and empowered as opposed to pulled off center. And we need more and more of those in order to stabilize. And I'm really happy to have you back, Maxie. I know you're doing some really good education work, and we're going to feature the Coherence Education Group in here, and we need to bring in some more young people. So I'm counting on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be here. So happy New Year, all of us. Magical, fulfilling year for us. Yeah. And thank you for this coherent space. It's lovely.
Yep.
We love you. Thanks. Thanks for
being. We love you.
Bye.
Yeah. Anybody else want to share something? Do you feel like you're an imaginal cell? Can you relate to feeling like you're an imaginal cell? Yeah. Yeah. It sure makes more sense to me than looking out on the news and stuff and thinking, I just don't get it. Like this isn't the reality that I see all around me or that I feel in my heart. And so the more I can get that separation in my reality, the more I can start to pay attention to what's arising. So Paul, I'm excited to hear what you have to say. I really was jealous of your headphones when she was playing.
Headphones have been nice.
Yeah.
And it helps me be able to hear what's going on. I have taken my brother under my roof, and it's been a bit of a challenge. And the other day I found myself thinking, I'm just becoming a bitter, angry old man.
Yeah,
I agree. he said yeah to that in the other room. And things like this are so good for bringing me back to that imaginal space, the future that I want to create and I've been working to create for years, and that is seeming to finally be coming together.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Paul, it's coming together. You and me are in the same boat. My brother moved into my small cottage in February after being crushed by 1,000 pounds of plywood, and really it wasn't going to work for him to be at my mom in their little place because they would have killed each other. So he moved in here, and we're very different energy, very, very different energy, different ways to communicate. And what I've chosen to do is I'm radiating my imaginal soul energy into the space, and he is becoming more and more inspired. And he really, really appreciates the energy I bring to his life. And he's becoming more healthy and more vibrant than he ever was before. So I'm going to really invite that for you, Paul, that you can help your brother by you shining your bright light, no matter what. That's what we need from you.
That's my goal, to hold the space of love.
And you
Thank
come and
you.
hang out in this community, and we'll help you feel capable of doing that, because it's hard sometimes. Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Anybody else feel like sharing before we go close and go into the connection? Connection is so powerful. Yeah. Who wasn't that I saw that I haven't heard from that I was really happy to see back again? Tammy.
Marcy has her hand up.
Oh, Marcy. Okay, Marcy. I love your hat today, Marcy. Yeah, beautiful. Go ahead.
Okay, there we are. Well, speaking of brothers, there must be a theme here because while I was in that, and we all were in that beautiful meditation, Julie, and it is, about now and evolving and so forth. But what suddenly came up for me was my wonderful brother who is on the other side. And there was just so much light. I felt Michael Archangel and all of these beautiful beings that it almost felt like they were cheering us on. That's what it felt like.
That's great. Thanks, Marcy. We do.
Mhm.
We're being supported from life itself right now to actually choose this. I think we can start to feel when we don't put our attention out here in the bit of the chaos, but in here, we're going to start to feel like we're actually being supported by an energy that we can't even describe is helping us to keep choosing this. Yeah, Stephanie, I was hoping to hear from you. Your shares in the chat have been beautiful today. Lovely to have you on. Yeah.
Thank you. I can add to the sibling stories. I actually, my sister, she's my younger sister. She stopped talking to me over 20 years ago for no obvious reason. And I wrote her a Christmas letter and I asked for peace between us. And so today she emailed me saying that there is no need for peace, that we are not at war, that I'm not part of her family because her family is not the blood family. And I was like, wow, okay, here we have clarity. She does not want to be a part of our family. And I mailed that to my brother, and we like each other. And he called me immediately, he and his wife, and they told me how much they love and appreciate me. So there is a German word, we call them Archangels. They're angels who do unhappy things to us, but in the end, they're creating something very positive. So my sister was an archangel, so that my brother and my sister-in-law and I were able to exchange the love and appreciation that we have for each other, because we usually don't do that in our family. It's just taken for granted, but it's not. It's not. Yeah. So yeah, it was an act of grace in a very strange way, I think.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, Stephanie. That's true. Like life is giving us all kinds of opportunities to wake up. And I think if we can say thank you sometimes to the hardest ones, then we're going to get the magic that's actually there because they're just helping us choose love instead. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. I'm so glad. And Holly, lovely to see you, Holly.
Thank you. Lovely to be here. And I thought the meditation for me was the most potent thing I could have heard right now. Touched my soul, my heart. And the subsequent conversation between you two, what you stimulate in each other is magnificent to watch. I wish there were a transcript of this because there's so many pieces of it I'd love to share with others. So if that's not available, is it possible to share the replay, to send that out to people that I know and love?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Send them the replay, invite them into the connection field and link to the replay, anything that would work for sure. And it's easy to make transcripts from videos. I'm happy to do that. I think sometimes it's really great to have those. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. You guys are angels. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You can go Global Coherence Pulse is the YouTube channel that I'm putting all the replays in. So if you don't think yet they'd want to come into the connection field, you can go to the YouTube channel for Global Coherence Pulse and you can just grab the link and send them that. Whatever feels like a comfortable reflection. Yeah. All right, Julie, I'm going to have you just share a few words and then I'm just going to share my screen and I'm going to actually look a little bit at our membership today. And also, Holly, did you get to put your picture in yet? Or I can show you how to do that today.
Yeah, I haven't been able to succeed at that. It looks like it's off, my head or something.
Okay.
All right. What's going on.
Okay. Julie, thank you. Obviously, the meditation was very moving today, and that frame of reference, I think we all can keep deepening that.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to thank everyone for showing up and being here. Like, it's so important for us to be together as much as possible, to just feel this frequency together. And know that, like, some of us get pulled into a three-dimensional reality that's really chaotic and scary, and the end of times like dark, and that's just a reality that's resolving itself in dissolution. So the more we can be together in this space and emit this frequency of love and light, the stronger our inner coherence, the stronger our collective coherence, the stronger the global coherence. So come together as much as possible. Let's be in space, in time, together as much as possible.
Yeah.
Thanks, Teresa.
And thank you for setting up the chrysalis for us to dive deep in. Yeah, thank you guys all for being here. And I love right now on my screen, I don't know if this is true on your screen, but my screen has love is the bridge between you and everything in the center of my screen. Sophie, your thing is right in the center of, I took a grab. And that's it. It's the bridge between me and you and me and everything and you and everything. And we're really getting that. So I'm going to share my screen. If you need to go, that's okay. It's always on the recording. And I'm going to be hosting probably like different times every week where if you're having trouble, you can come into the connection field and I'll show you around a little bit and I'll show you how to do stuff. So if you're a little technology challenge, just know that there'll be times where you can come and I'll help you out and hold your hand. And then you'll say, whoa, that's so easy. It really is. But sometimes it doesn't feel easy. So remember that you have this little checklist on the side that you can click if it's closed. If it's open, it really helps you to do some of the things that you need to do, like filling out your profile or adjusting your notifications. Those are two things. Take some time to do that. It really makes a difference. And I'm going to show those again really quick. If you click on fill out your profile in that little thing, it'll open it up like this. Or you can go up under your profile and click on your name. Those are two ways that you can get to your profile super easy. And then you'll see this little button that says edit. And so when you edit it, you can edit the background image that you put in, and it'll open up for you to choose something on your computer to put in there. And the same with your little picture. It'll say, choose a picture from your desktop. And then you can change, you can put a little bit of a bio in, and this is the one that shows up right on your profile underneath. You can see I don't have mine. That's pretty bad. And then you have some place to put a little longer introduction. And this one is going to be what that pulls from to start to match you with other people. It's going to start to say, hey, there's another person who kind of has the same things. You might want to meet them. So those are two things for sure. You know, take some time and put in your profile, but get your picture in there, because look what a difference it looks like if we have, I'm going to go to our newest members. Look what it looks like if we actually have pictures of our faces and a little something that says about who we are. Makes it easier to start to create those connections. And then also, oh, I recognize that's Paul from the call. So I'll click on him and say hello. So the second thing is your notifications. And this one's pretty important because the way Mighty Network sets it up by default, and I wish that they did it the opposite way, is that you will get a notice in your inbox, in your email, every time somebody makes a post. That would make me want to run away, probably, just because I don't want that many emails in my box. So you can turn on and off emails that you'll get. And you can decide how often it happens. And so I suggest you choose daily digest. And that means once a day, you'll get an email that says, here's some stuff that happened. And then if there's specific things that you want to turn off that would come in that daily notice, you can choose to do that here. 100% take a minute to do that one thing, and you'll be so much happier with how you get information coming from the connection field. And we want you to feel happy about it and not overwhelmed by it. And then for those of you that are just coming in, the public spaces, everybody that joins the connection field for free has access to all of this wonderful space for us to connect. And the cafe is the place where you're going to find more offerings. You see the replays are all here. And you're going to find more offerings after the 7 days is over, like connecting with your love voice with Michelle, or the Global Heart Team's Bubble Hour, or we're going to be having the Oasis Women's Circle. We're going to be having some other things in here. So if you're feeling like you want connection on a Zoom call like this with other people in the community, the cafe is really the place to go. And you'll also find in the cafe these daily questions or inspirations or articles like Julie's putting here that are really for us to focus on feeling the imaginal soul that we are, choosing love. Like we'll be using that space for more focused, curated content. And then in the other public spaces, you have a community feed like on Facebook where every member or the different islands are posting. So we're seeing, you know, what other community members or whatever are posting, music that we want to share with each other. And the island partner events, those are all of our island partners with events that they're hosting. So it's not just what we're offering in the connection field, but what we're offering in the field. So those are the spaces that we have available to us to play together. And it's a generous set of offerings. There's so much. And the reason that there's so much is because lots of organizations stepped up and said, I'll do my part, which makes this a very unusual and very rich learning community. And then we have member spaces, and you don't see this unless you're a member, because it doesn't open up until you're a member. And that's where the Imaginal Souls chrysalis lives. And I wanted to show you some of these other things that we're going to be able to begin turning on once we have more members, right? A library of goodness with some meditations and videos and music and other things. We're going to start doing healing circles, and we'll do some just in the cafe, but going deeper into some practice with healing circles. Members will be able to post their projects and their offerings and their events, because many of you are offering things like we would host in the cafe. And we need to be able to start seeing what's being offered, and each of us find what will best really serve us. And it might be another member of the community offering something that is exactly what you're looking for. And then we are going to do community challenges. And so there'll be times where we'll say we're going to do a 7-day or a 14-day or a 30-day challenge that you can choose to join with. But we'll just go into the Imaginal Souls for a minute. And I'll say about our membership is your membership contributions make the connection field possible. That's really what we're inviting, is that we want to create a self-sustaining community at some point in our evolution. And right now we're raising money, and people are contributing to us having this place for us to play. And we've got some generous grants right now that are making that possible. And that is fantastic. So there's people who are saying, we love that you're doing this, and we want to make this available to everybody for free. And then we have the opportunity for us to go deeper and offer more and invite those who can contribute to help support this growing and being possible. And so there's a mutually beneficial exchange of energy. So if you're somebody that can do that, it's a fantastic thing to not only give yourself, but to give the community as a whole. And if you can't participate in the membership fee, you can participate by showing up and engaging in the things that are offered in the public play spaces, and add your posts and your comments and your love. All of it is exactly what we need in order for this to grow rich. So Julie, I don't know if you want to say something. They asked in the chat for the Imaginal or the butterfly story. So if you put that in the chat, you guys can watch that. And really, Elizabeth Satoris, I'm so sorry that she passed away before you were able to invite her on to host in the community. She was going to come and be a mentor inside of the Imaginal Souls chrysalis, and we're so sorry, to have her go. But anyway, there's all kinds of cool things in here that Julie offers, and other members that Julie will bring in, other mentors. There's a lot inside of there. So those are the offerings now in the connection field, is all of this rich public space, lots of things, full moon gatherings, the global coherence pulse, weekly things. You're taken care of here. And if you want to contribute to the community and go deeper in the process, and that's something you can do, then the membership layer is available to you. And if you want to learn about it, it's right underneath your public spaces. Let me click on there. And there's a little page right here under public spaces that you could learn about it. Julie, do you want to say anything else about that?
Just that we're quietly opening the doors for those who are showing up right now. And this next week, we're going to go really public with some other events. And so there is a nice rate for our current Connection Field members inside there. And that will change in the middle of January as we go into the spring of really building more of a membership inside the Imaginal Souls. Again, it's a way for us to create a regenerative community where we can sustain this online space for us to be together. And so it's an important strategy for us to diversify. So we're not only dependent on grants and funds from having to do the fundraising. We're all nonprofits that have some other constellations within it, but the majority of our core organizations are nonprofits, and we're all trying to raise money to do the work we do. And then this is one attempt for us to do the collective work together. So thanks for that tour, Teresa. And we'll do more tours. If you're curious, send us a message. We can answer your questions. And we'll continue to grow together.
Yeah. I'll say one other thing too is that in the public spaces, there's a tip jar there. So let's say like the membership's a little bit much for my budget, right? And I might have to change something that I'm currently spending money on in order to have it be here. That's something I've been doing in my life, is I'm canceling some things that I actually want to put that energy somewhere else. But also, if you like really get involved with Tatiana and her Oasis Women's Circle, and you're so grateful that she's offering it to you, and you want to leave a tip for her, you can do that. So there's lots of ways to be able to contribute to making sure that the community is viable. And it's not just money, it's actually showing up and giving your love. That's the most important thing. So thank you everybody for joining today. If anybody has something they want to share before we go, it's just like, I just want to put in the field, please do. Is that you, Grace? Yes.
Yeah, just quick, we're up to 416. So thank you all for agreeing to be love beacons out in the world, sharing love. Thank you very much.
Grace, awesome. Awesome. Great.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeannie's sending you some love today. Yeah, beautiful. Vicky and Denise, thanks for being here again. George, Cheryl, love seeing all of your beautiful faces. Chantel, Roxanne, Lisa, yeah. And Maxie, I love you, Maxie. I'm glad you guys are turning your cameras on. Beautiful. It's so nice to see you.
We love you too.
We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to go into self-inquiry, which is a wonderful step from here, where if we're saying, okay, I'm going to pay attention to that I'm an imaginal soul or cell instead of the soup I'm swimming in, then what are the questions we can begin to ask ourselves so that we can understand, what does that really mean that I'm an imaginal cell, and what's my role in this transition if that's what I am. And so we'll start to dive into some self-inquiry tomorrow. All right. Love you all. Tracy, yeah. We're just getting their cameras on. Lovely to see you. Okay. Have a beautiful day. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Teresa. Thanks for hosting us.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.